Yvonne, tell me, you've been the queen of this Heritage Project for nearly a year now and all the interviews. However, now we get the chance to turn the tables on you.
The theme was enjoy the journey. And that was something that we did. And the committee was 20 strong.
Wow.
It's very good. And we had like a really core and then like an outer core, and everybody was absolutely fantastic.
Yvonne, 20 people, that's a great committee. So who was on your committee back in 2004 that made your year what it was?
Well, to say all 20, we don't have time for, but they know who they are. So it's lovely. I do want to say, though, just some really key. Dean Collier, my husband, he was also programme director.
Yes.
He took over from Gary as secretary when Gary was sick.
I see.
And he backed the president in every way.
Well done.
So made my year. I took away any stress or
because you need to have support at home, don't you? And I mean, you really,
yes.
your life really does become sort of integrated with many of your roles and responsibilities, and the phone's always ringing and emails until late in the night.
Yes,
and of course you were involved with otother chapters as well, being a president of the chapter. I mean,
on the national board.
That's
and
right.
everything.
And so how did that work for you in 2004?
Well, that worked very well, and you know, with Dean there as backup, I'm a very good delegator. And I was able to delegate
You're fortunate.
a lot
Very
of things, which was lovely. Jeanette Comish, who was responsible for a fabulous newsletter, which was what obviously helped bring record numbers of people to our meetings.
Yes.
And Kerry Poynier, who was fabulous with the Speakers Academy and the how-tos. And Bev Chapman. Bev, who is such a giver.
That's right. And
manned the desk just so brilliantly and beautifully. And to all the others, you know, I think we did really well, and it is really a team effort.
Yes.
And we were able to celebrate, and we had a lovely cruise in December, which was just magic. Not everybody made it, but it was really a thank you, because that's what it's all about, service.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
So Yvonne, tell me, what was the highlight of your presidency during 2004?
The highlights that absolutely come to the fore, and it wasn't just me,
of course,
is our speakers. Particularly the international speakers. We had Brian Tracy, we had Edward de Bono, and we had Tim Gard.
Wow.
You know, and that we kicked off January with Tim Gard, who was awesome. You know, and the others, and all of the other speakers, Stuart Bonham from England.
Was there a moment that perhaps wasn't the shining moment of the day? What was the worst moment that sort of came up for you during your presidency?
Both with Edward de Bono and Brian Tracy, we didn't know until a matter of days before that it would happen.
Oh, I see.
And you were actually partly responsible too for getting Brian Tracy. That was your influence.
Well,
it was marvellous.
a little bit.
But we didn't. He wasn't confirmed.
That's right.
And can you imagine the challenge of that as president? You know, all the promotional stuff's gone out. With Edward de Bono, we couldn't actually say it was him, but we kind of dropped his name. Imagine if he dropped in, or Oprah, or you know.
Yes.
And what actually helped give me the peace of mind was Dean's, you know, he's a clairvoyant numerologist.
I see.
He could say that it will happen.
It will happen.
And gave me the certainty to be able just to accept it would.
And operate in that state.
Yeah, which is a wonderful thing to do.
Really, really good.
So there are potentially worse moments. I mean, if we hadn't pulled it off,
yes,
that would have been, but, you know, just knowing that we did.
There had to have been a day when it all sort of started, and you know,
well,
when did it all kind of click?
With a brother who was 18 months older than me, one of the classics in the family was, I couldn't get a word in edgeways because he was just yapping. So it was like, so the classic was, you know, Yvonne used to go, be quiet, I'm speaking.
You're kidding.
So from a very early age.
So practice at the dinner table, breakfast table,
you know,
very good.
It's my turn.
Now, of course, your background, you've come to this country, obviously, many years ago. How did that transition happen? You were born in?
I was Newcastle upon Tyne, so from a Geordie.
Yes.
But you know, the accent actually has been diluted. It's
slightly,
still quite strong.
Slightly.
But I don't say why I man.
But you could if you wanted to. Yeah.
If I wanted.
So when did you get on the shoreline? I mean,
1980.
1980.
And I was very fortunate that I'd made the switch from teaching, because again, that was my first profession.
Yes.
having graduated from university, was a teacher. And then after 5 years, I moved into the commercial world.
Well done.
And started to work for a newspaper group. And then, thank goodness I made that switch, because when Rod, that's my first husband,
Yep.
so I was Yvonne Gregory then,
Yes.
came over to Australia, I was able to knock on News Limited store.
Very good.
Having had, even though it was only about 7 months experience, it was really good. It was like a duck to water.
Now, for the
Yeah.
people watching this right now, is News Limited a very big company?
Huge!
I think is the guy Murdoch.
Murdoch, yeah,
that's the
it,
guy.
yeah.
That's right. Rupert. That's the fella. That's right.
Well, it was very, well, I spent 12 years,
Yeah.
12 wonderful years in that corporate world
Wow.
of News Limited and Fairfax, and highlights were like launching the Good Weekend.
Ah, okay.
84, 88, I was poached back
Ah,
to News to launch the Australian magazine.
very good.
And it was wonderful. It was just fabulous. And I had sales teams, and I employed my own, and I trained them all and everything. And then a little switch went off in my head, like, it's not fun anymore.
Oh, is that right?
And, you know,
Now, why
enjoy the
will-
journey is my theme.
I was gonna say.
Enjoy life. I don't know, I think I might be a 12-year cycle or something, I'm not sure. But it was like, oh, well, this is fun, I'm not hanging around.
Interesting.
But-
So, do you think that's a part of your core Madison training business now? Is that you brought that through as having that fun? Because
Oh,
I've
yes.
always known you to be
Yeah.
fun, but everyone who works with you says that. So is that
Yeah.
an anchor?
Definitely. I mean, all my training is fun.
Yes.
You know, we have a good time.
Well done.
We enjoy ourselves. And that was 92, launched Madison Training. And going back to a teaching background, really, it was just something that was obvious that really, instead of kids, I'd be teaching adults, and it's communication skills, it's people skills.
Yes, yes.
It's the unity of teams.
Yes. How did you get started in the speaking business?
I position myself as a people skills expert.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know whether it's a gift, or I've always valued people, always looked to bring out the best in people, care about people, my book, which is Laughter Success, a practical guide to getting along with others. Getting along with others would be like I like people to get along better. I like to help them get along better.
Well, that's certainly shown
So-
during your presidency. You've developed your expertise as a speaker, a trainer, facilitator, and an author. How did it start?
Back at university, I studied anthropology, psychology, and geography. And it's the anthropology and the psychology that really fascinated me. And that's when it really all started. So Laughter Success is a model. And it's really tapping into the logic, the action, the fun, and the feeling inside everybody. And when you do that, you're able to relate to anybody. You just have to get in the right mode, recognise their mode, and move into that.
A tip for our viewing audience. What would be a tip?
Be where you are. So really be present. So when you're having preliminary meetings, you know, be there. When you're on the platform, be there. It's be in the moment. Just be in the moment.
Wow.
And people get it.
Yes.
Yeah. Be there for your audience. So it's not for you. It's actually for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the second one is enjoy.
It's been a real pleasure. Thank you so much on behalf of New South Wales National Speaker Association and the National Board, but more importantly for the members and the people that you've served. Thank you for your time today, and thanks for being a part of this heritage project. It's been an absolute delight.